You are now listening to Wavy Sound.
Welcome to episode 66 of Versus Mike History. I'm your host, Michael History. Be sure to like, follow, and subscribe to the podcast wherever you choose to listen. And if you're on your preferred platform, let us know and we'll do our best to change that. For premier access to Versus Mike History content, join our members-only subscription tier on versusmikehistory.com.
I've never been one of the people that could be comfortable being careless. Some people, I noticed the quality that they don't have that. They just don't have the I guess the pressure on themselves. You know, they just have a little bit of a comfort that I don't have. I don't feel comfortable unless I know I went above and beyond with my preparation. The things that possibly could happen, if I ain't take real steps to prevent those things, I'm not comfortable. I can't walk around, charismatic and happy. Nah, I gotta make sure, we setting up some type of wealth, because we might have a little bag right now, but we know a lot of people had a bag right now and they ended up bad.
Yo, mic check. We are back again for another episode of Versus Mike History. How are you guys doing? I hope you guys are having a wonderful weekend. I hope you're having a wonderful start to your week. The weather over the weekend was trash, mostly for just on Saturday. Sunday was kind of nice. But, all in all, I hope everyone enjoyed their extended weekend and got to take some time to relax and see their family or hang out with some friends and enjoy themselves and, enjoy life. A lot is going on right now in terms of festivities. Henny Day is coming up. Shout out to the Goodfellas. And yeah. I hope everybody's I know I sound like a broken record, but I hope everybody's staying safe, man. The Delta variant is out there. There have been reports that I've read that said that the Moderna and Pfizer vaccine do protect you against the Delta variant. So if you have those vaccines, congratulations. Yeah, let's go ahead and get into the episode though. As always, we got to lead with love, and I want to give a shout out to my chapter, Iota Row. We hosted our chapter barbecue over the weekend on Saturday, despite the weather. What the weather report said, and it turned out to be a great event. A lot of people showed up. There was no violence. I believe everybody had a great time, and there was a bunch of food and punch to go around. And shout out to the home team. I just wanted to point that out because we took a lot of time out to prepare that, and it really is the people's barbecue. We want everybody to come out every year to enjoy themselves and be able to host people coming from out of state. Shout out to all the out of state alphas that came out as well. And I'm gonna go ahead and get into the Black Spotlight though. Okay, so for this week's Black Spotlight, I wanted to highlight a company that was in the news because of all the shenanigans that have been surrounding the Olympics. And it's really frustrating. Before I get into it, it's really frustrating all of the disparities that Black women have been going through in regards to competing in the Olympics this year. But with that said, I wanted to highlight Soul Cap, the swimming cap that has been barred from the Olympics this year. And I'm getting this from Bustle, so bear with me. A black-owned swimming hat brand aimed at creating inclusive caps has been barred from the Olympics this summer. The brand's larger caps, designed to accommodate Afro hair, were denied approval to wear for competition swimming in this year's Olympics by FINA, the Federation for International Competitions in Water Sports, as the organization claims elite athletes don't require caps of such size. The swimming caps created by Soul Cap were denied certification to wear for competition by Swimming FINA on the grounds that, to their best knowledge, the athletes competing at the international events never used, neither required to use, caps of such size and configuration. Okay, let me skip down to... Yes, here we go. Tox Ahmad and Michael Chapman founded Soul Cap, which is dedicated to bringing inclusive swimwear to marginalized communities in 2017 after seeing a gap in the market where they took up adult swimming lessons for the first time. Since then, the pair have brought larger caps to thousands of swimmers and partnered with elite athlete Alice Deering, who is set to make history as the first black woman to represent Great Britain swimming at the Olympics. So, shout out to Tox Ahmed and Michael Chapman for founding Soul Cap and, bringing a diverse product to the market for a demographic that required it. The Olympics should do a better job at, viewing the full scope of why someone would want to use this product while competing on such a large scale. Because if they don't require the cap of that size, then that means that it shouldn't matter whether they wear it or not. But shout out to Soul Cap, and I hope everybody goes out and cops them some black hair friendly swimming caps to go ahead and cover their hair when they get into the water. Okay, guys, let's go ahead and get into our topics for the week. And I just want to start with some celebratory news with the ladies of the Red Table Talk celebrating their first Emmy. And I'm getting this from Black Enterprise, so bear with me. Red Table Talk, which is a multi-generational Facebook watch series featuring actress Jada Pinkett Smith, Willow Smith, and Adrienne Banfield Norris, won its first Emmy Award in Outstanding Informative Talk Show category. Pinkett Smith's mother and daughter discuss trendy topics with family and friends on the popular show. Pinkett Smith's husband, actor, and rapper Will Smith happily announced the news about his family's big win on his Instagram account. Shout out to them, to the Smith family, for all of the hard work that they've put into the production of Red Table Talk. I really love the fact that is a homegrown platform, quite literally, and the fact that it's 3 generations of women on the show that host it, and the show is actually filmed in their home, and they discuss, for the most part, topics that people want to hear, and they discuss and offer perspectives that people can relate to. And even though I wish that they weren't on Facebook, I am happy that they have received the success that they've received up to this point. So shout out to them, and let's go ahead and move on. All right, guys. So I have here that P-Valley creator Katori Hall wins a Pulitzer Prize for The Hot Wing King. And I'm getting this from Shadow and Act, so bear with me. P-Valley creator and executive producer Katori Hall has won a Pulitzer Prize for a drama due to her off-Broadway play, The Hot Wing King. According to Deadline, The Hot Wing King is set in Memphis, Tennessee, and focuses on a black gay male couple and their cooking group, the New Wing Order, preparing to enter in the annual Hot Wing Festival. But when one of the main characters, Dwayne, decides to take in his delinquent nephew, trouble looms for Dwayne in more ways than one. The Pulitzer Board has called the play a funny, deeply felt consideration of black masculinity and how it is perceived, filtered through the experiences of a loving gay couple and their extended family as they prepare for a culinary competition. Shout out to Katori Hall for snagging a Pulitzer Prize. Like, that's not a small feat by any means. And she already has a successful show on television, and she has a successful off-Broadway play that she now has an award to show for it. And that is wonderful. I'm proud of my black people. And let's go ahead and get into some more news. All right, so I found this cool story about this 8-year-old who launched a very cool doll line. And I'm getting this from Afrotech, so bear with me. 8-year-old CEO Lil D launches plush doll line to spread brown boy joy. Lil D is the 8-year-old behind Our Brown Boy Joy, the company created to both empower and inspire brown boys across the country by showing them just how special they are. Recently, he's announced the launch of My Friend, a plush doll line designed to be both a tool and a toy that promotes positivity. Brown boys should know that they are wonderful just the way they are, shared Lil D. My Friend plush dolls were created with Lil D's mantra in mind and each doll speaks positive affirmations like brown boy, you are joy. I think this is really cool, the fact that this young boy felt the need to create a product that reinforces positivity within young black males. It's always something that I'm always going to want to highlight and bring forth. So shout out to him, and I hope that, people buy all of his product. All right, guys, I wanted to get into the story about a black man in California who became a doula to protect black women during their birthing process. So, and I'm getting this from Afrotech, so bear with me. Because men need to prepare when it comes to the birth of a baby too. According to Spectrum News, Carson native Destin Young has always had questions about the birthing process. Now, as a certified doula, he is helping others through the birth process and encouraging men to join him in making black moms have safer births. As I got older, I just kind of look at women as gods, essentially, which you guys are, said Young. He credits his baby sister as the reason he became a doula after he says her medical team wasn't supportive, leaving her to face a difficult pregnancy alone. Her 5th month, she went to the doctor and had some bad news, continued Young. She found that her heartbeat stopped and she had a stillbirth. When the second chance for her sister came around, Young would not allow her to do it alone. He located a doula and became an assistant. He then helped his sister while she was in labor at her home for hours before escorting her to the hospital to help his nephew with his nephew's delivery. I felt like I wanted to be there as much as possible and guide her through the process, said Young. During his sister's pregnancy, Young even cut the umbilical cord and has now helped in the delivery process for 3 births. So shout out to Dustin Young, man. That's an actual beautiful story to hear. I apologize that, the process began through loss, but through that loss, you have found motivation to, change the outcome and the trajectory of your sister's births and these 3 other women, I would assume. And you're also shining a light on how other men should be joining into this process. And I wholeheartedly agree because, we should be some type of capable in the process of a woman giving birth and, be some type of useful. So shout out to him, and let's go ahead and keep moving. All right, so you guys, I'm sure you guys all heard that Sha'Carri Richardson won't be running in the Olympics this year because she tested positive for marijuana. And I don't have an article for this one. I just kind of wanted to give my thoughts briefly. I think that first of all, I have a tremendous amount of respect for her for coming forward and taking responsibility for her actions and being accountable for, the actions that she took to get to this point. I think that it shows a high level of maturity, and it shows, a level of professionalism that a lot of people don't have at that age. That's first and foremost. Secondly, the fact that she was even able to compete to have the opportunity to run in the Olympics after having dealt with the devastating loss of losing her biological mother is a tremendous feat in its own regard, simply for the fact that she broke records to get to that point. You know, I think that we're living in a time where we just feel like everything should be perfect and as it is. And although this isn't the perfect outcome to, you know, Sha'Carri's story, she will have opportunities to perform and to win again. And I really do think that she will take from this, a lesson and, go on to do amazing things. But I do think that people are a little bit too hard on her. This is a time in her life that is extremely strenuous, and you're adding the loss of a parent on top of all of that, on top of the limelight, on top of the expectations from, fellow athletes and trainers and coaches and things of that nature. And she's also a young woman who's coming up in the world and who has to develop a personality for herself throughout all of this. So, I think that you should put yourself in her shoes and, really take the time out to understand her situation before you cast any judgment. Because, from as far as what I've seen, she's handling this as best as she possibly can. And that's all we can ask for her. So we all got your back, girl. And let's go ahead and move on. All right, let's go ahead and wrap this up with a little bit of coverage from the latest Verzuz, which was Keith Sweat and Bobby Brown. I'm not going to lie to you and pretend like I watched this entire Verzuz, because I did not. But I did watch some of it. And I got to say, it was entertaining. It coming off of the Soulja Boy Bow Wow, I don't know if it was the best decision to have this one right after, but nonetheless, I still heard a lot of songs that I love, and those two men have many accomplishments that should be celebrated, and a lot of bangers, if we just being honest and real. But shout out to them. And from the highlights that I saw, because I didn't watch the entire Verzuz, but I did go back and watch some highlights. And, Keith Sweat, Keith Sweat got some, his pen is mighty. I have to say. Bobby Brown ain't nothing ain't nobody to fool with either. But Keith Sweat, his pen, Freak Me, come on, like it's that's who I have coming out of it. But that's just my personal opinion. And, I'm going to go ahead and keep it moving. Let's go ahead and get into some new music. So, I spent a lot of time outside this weekend. I'm not going to lie to you. So, I haven't listened to a lot of new music. But I did get to jot down, and I feel like I say that a lot, but I end up catching up on all the new music after I record the episodes. I did get to jot down a nice little comprehensive list of stuff that dropped, though. So here we go. First and foremost, G Herbo dropped his album 25. I did listen to that. I've been rocking with that a lot this weekend, actually. Like, some of my favorites off of this are No Jail Time, Whole Hearts, 2 Chainz, Trenches Know My Name. He is really developing as an artist, and Bro is just like, he's a really cool guy, and he promotes positivity a lot throughout this project, especially. But I think that in general, like his energy is positive, and that's what he puts out, and that's what he receives back in the world. And I really respect that about him. What else we got though? We got Brent, Drake, and the Neptunes with "Wasting Time." This joint is a banger, and it's actually our sound selection of the week. So you'll be hearing that at the end of the episode. IDK and Young Thug, they drop Prada Dada Bang, which is a single. I didn't get to hear that. Division, Ty Dolla $ign, and Mac Miller, called "I Believe It." You know I had to hear this because of the late great Mac Miller. Division and Ty Dolla $ign really deliver what they need to on this record. It sounds, honestly, the song sounds like it was a Mac Miller song, and Division and Ty Dolla $ign came in afterwards and added what they added. And I really do like what they added to the song. It just, Mac Miller's verse sounds dated for obvious reasons. Yeah, but it overall is a very calm vibe and real romantic, whatever. Big Walk Dog, Lil Baby, and Pooh Shiesty, they drop "Whole Lot of Ice." I actually like that song, "Whole Lot of Ice." But yeah, it was cool. Common and PJ, they released "Imagine." That's a single. I didn't get to hear that. YNW Melly and Queen Niger, they released "Pieces." That's a single. I didn't get to hear that either. JK and Georgia Smith, they released "1,000 Nights." That's a single as well. Didn't hear that either. And Big 30 and Yo Gotti released "Too Official," and that is a single as well. And I also did not hear that. So I'm so sorry. But at least all the new stuff that's out right now. I'm scrolling through Tidal. I'm looking. Peasy, he drops "Free Rio." I'm not sure who these young artists are. I'm so sorry. Youngin Ace, "Life of Betrayal," 2 times. I mean, if you guys know these guys, go ahead and check them out. I'm only here to promote black artists anyway. So if it's a black artist and they dropping new music, sure, cool. As long as I don't go back and regret it. Yeah. I think I'll do like a comprehensive summer thing. I don't know. Just because I don't feel like BJ the Chicago Kid, he dropped something. Okay, BJ the Chicago Kid dropped a single called "Fancy." I need to go hear that. And that's pretty much it for music. So let's go ahead and get into our television and movies. All right. So for television and movies, I want to get started with a short review of The Tomorrow War, because I watched that, and that's currently on Amazon Prime Video, excuse me. So what did I think of The Tomorrow War? I thought that it was an entertaining movie. I'm not gonna lie. It was an entertaining movie. I think that it's a movie that you can sit through majority of, if not all of it. And I think that, the graphics in the film and, it looked semi-realistic, and when the monsters that were in the film attacked people, it looked like, it was actually happening, and, set design was cool and all of that stuff. But the movie didn't make any sense. It was a convoluted mess, to be perfectly honest. I hate to break it to you. If that's something that doesn't bother you when you go to watch movies and you just want to be entertained, I think that you will enjoy this movie. But if you're looking for the dialogue that happens in between action scenes to make any type of sense in order to move the plot along, even though they make it seem like it makes sense, it does not. I'm sorry, it just doesn't. I don't want to spoil the plot for you guys because I just don't like doing that. But there are a lot of like time travel conundrums that hold this movie back, and I feel like it thought it was doing something differently from a lot of movies, but what it ultimately did was just raise more questions than it answered. And it's kind of a tall order when you attempt to do a time travel film. It really is tough because you almost always end up in some sort of paradox. And, you see that all the time in Rick and Morty, which I'm just realizing that I did not watch for this episode. Wow. Yeah. But the Tomorrow War was, it just didn't make any sense. I think that it has, for its lead, Chris Pratt, and J.K. Simmons is in this film as his father, and we have the young woman that is in Handmaid's Tale, and two other black actors who are in this film as well. I don't know anybody's name. I'm really chopping this up, but you guys know what film I'm talking about. And all the supporting actors are actually really great. This is kind of a fully fleshed out cast in terms of talent, but the mark is just missed, and it's obvious that it's the script. It's just completely obvious. I don't mean to decimate the film like this because action movies are action movies, and you're not always requiring them to be super in depth and analytical and super heady and everything like that. But it could have done a better job. Done a better job. And I feel like if the studio was more confident in this film, then they would have allowed people to review it more than a day before its release. But that's just personal sentiment. And we could go ahead and move on because I'm done thinking about that movie. I want to get into I also wanted to talk about Summer of Soul, which is on Hulu. Summer of Soul is the Questlove documentary that is an archival that shows archival footage of the Harlem Cultural Festival that took place in 1969. It was the same summer as Woodstock, and it was this huge, large festival that about 200,000 to 300,000 black people attended, and it was an amazing day and time, and there were a bunch of amazing performers there, and somehow after this amazing and glorious day, the footage just sat in a basement for 50 years. And Questlove took his time to turn this into a documentary and find people that were at the festival and that performed at the festival to come and talk about their experiences and show them the footage as they spoke about it. And it was a really beautiful documentary, and anybody who is into any type of cultural media or documentation that surrounds like black people and black culture is definitely something that you should consider watching. It's an absolutely beautiful documentary. It just shows black people in such a beautiful way, and it's a wonderful thing. I also wanted to talk about some upcoming stuff that I saw some trailers for. So I saw that there is a Dick Gregory documentary that is set to drop. Oh, that is out right now. So Dick Gregory has a documentary that's about to release that has released on Showtime. It's produced by Lena Waithe, Kevin Hart, and Andre Gaines. I haven't seen it yet, obviously, but it looked very, very interesting, and it released on July 4th, so it is out right now as you are listening to this episode. What else do we have? HBO Max released the trailer for Many Saints of Newark. Oh my goodness. I've been watching a lot of Sopranos lately, And, you know, I didn't really think as highly of the show while I was watching it as everybody holds it. But when this trailer dropped and I was just watching young Tony Soprano, catch his footing as a teenager and seeing everything else develop in the background of his childhood, it kind of, brought me to a certain feeling that I didn't know I was experiencing through, watching so many seasons of The Sopranos, because this trailer is absolutely amazing. And I can't wait for it to come out. And I might have to watch this one in the theater, even though it's releasing on HBO Max as well. And that comes out on October 1st, The Many Saints of Newark, which is a prequel film to the Sopranos series that was on HBO Max 20 odd years ago. And that's pretty much it. That's all I got. So I'm going to go ahead and wrap up the episode here. As always, send topics, questions, music, and movie suggestions. Follow the podcast on Twitter at VSMikeHistory and on Instagram and the Fanbase app at VersusMikeHistory. You can follow me on Twitter at MikeHistory and on Instagram at LastNameHistory. Remember, guys, for exclusive interviews and bonus content, please sign up to the members only subscription tier on VersusMikeHistory.com. I would really appreciate the support from you guys. And yeah, let's go ahead and get into our this week's sound selection. And it comes from Brent Faiyaz, and it features Drake, and it is produced by the Neptunes, and it is called Wasting Time. See you, good black people.
Can't even sit in peace, 'cause all of these niggas be on you. I'm just saying I can be, the one that you call and you talk to, girl. I'll share my world with you. If you're gonna waste your time, then waste your time with me. I mean, honestly, open your eyes and see if you're gonna who's giving you what you need. Then waste your time with me. You could have all the space, all that you need. It's no pressure, girl. If you got time to waste it with me. And I ain't worried about them. Girl, you all that I see. And I am who I am. And I be where I be. If you ever hit me on a late night, I'll give you a clear mind. Might give you some insight. I'll share my world with you. If you're gonna waste your time, then waste your time with me. I mean, honestly, open your eyes and see if you're gonna waste your time, what you need. Then waste your time with me. You can have all the space, all that you need. It's no pressure, girl. If you got time to waste it with me. Don't close your eyes to get away. Just bang my line and I'll arrange it. Beautiful, girl, you're stainless. You'll be fine, I'll be painless, yeah. All I'm drinking is champagne. All you want is the same thing.
Yeah. The 10,000 building, get your ass an apartment, put you inside a G-Class, that's just a starter kit. Plenty things count in life, but none of them is the thought of it. New piece around my neck, his chess games. Cause shorty stay with calculated moves like Beth Harmon. Swear I'm more Purple Rain Prince than Prince Charming. Disappointment I stay expecting it. The pessimist, gold medalist, flush the magnums just so they not collecting my specimens. Damn. The way she with Poppy, man, you would think she's a veteran on remembrance. Cleaning lady, sweep the room daily for all the evidence of everything I ever did. Do they have a pool there? Do they have a gym there? You used to do skincare, but now you do swimwear. Your ex-roommate got a condo that's downtown, but she got no furniture in her crib. I've been there. Checkmate, even though you hate that I even check her, I still get an E for effort. Only time I played it back and forth is a Leah record. If I let you talk first and nobody is speaking second. Fluent in passive aggression, that's why you acting dismissive. Hearing me out for once will require you actually listen. Damn. The boy is back, I never turn my back. I just slapped him, so now all that they see is my back. Say that damn Maybach bands with me in the back. When I wasn't accurate, I still couldn't clean on my act. Whenever I tell the truth, you feel like you being attacked, but that come with being attached, so how about we leave it at that?
If you're gonna waste your time, then waste your time with me.